What's up, monkey minions? Today I will be showing you how to construct a path for an NPC, like a car, or the ghost stuck in Ensville, or one of the K&D agents roaming around. We got plenty of paths that need to be done. If we get them all done, then we are done with grunt work for our feature complete build. So, it's kind of a big deal. If you guys would like to help, go ahead and head on over to High Command and punch in the Discord and pick an area and get started. But for now, I'll show you where to go from there. So, first thing you'll want to do is extract the server. So let me switch over to my desktop right here. So, in High Command, you'll download this zip called Path and Gruntwork Build. And what you want to do is just go ahead and open that on your machine. It'll probably look something like this. And you should see an extract all button up here. Now, if you hit that and just hit extract, that'll get the server going for you. And a new window will come up with this folder. And all you got to do, go away Windows Defender. All you got to do is double click the exe. You might get a message like this saying, Windows Defender thinks this is a risky app. If you want to go ahead and look at the source code to verify that it's a safe build, you can do that. But this is a common error that just happens because we haven't signed the application. So you can go ahead and hit more info and then run anyway. That should go ahead and bring up the server. You can hit allow access if this comes up on private or public. It doesn't matter. And as long as you see starting server at the bottom, that means you're good to go. So let's go back to the launcher. Now what you want to do, the launcher only comes with the public servers. You're going to need to add your own local server. So the way you do that is you just hit the plus. You can go ahead and say local server, right? You can leave the server IP blank. It'll automatically default to whatever's running on your computer. And this should already be on the right version, 2010-0104. And then you can just go ahead and hit save. And this should come up. Let's go ahead and connect. And your game client should load up as usual. You're not going to have any accounts on your local server, so you're going to have to make a new one, which isn't a big deal. Don't freak out. Your progress is still saved on the public server. You can go ahead and just make a character real quick. You can skip the tutorial, all that junk. And once you're in game, the fun stuff begins. So let's go ahead and find an NPC that we want to path. Oh, look, there's one right here. So I'm just going to do an example path. This isn't actually the real path for this agent. I don't even know if this agent has a path. But what you can go ahead and do is you can hit /path in the console. And you'll see it prints some usage stuff. So this is all the subpaths or the subcommands for /path. You can go ahead and do /path start. And what you should see is a recall marker fall on the NPC. And the NPC will start to follow you as you move around. Now, if you don't see a recall marker, that means you might have been going too fast or something and caught another NPC. So what you can do in that case is just do path cancel. And the recall marker should disappear. Maybe set your speed to 600 or something. And then do /path start again. And you should see in the console that this NPC is now following us. So let's say we want this NPC to... So it'll always place a point down at spawn. That's a requirement for these paths. If you think an NPC is placed in the wrong... has the wrong placement, just please let us know and we'll fix it. But let's say we want this guy to be like right there, right? For his first stop. We can do /path kf. And what you should see is another recall point fall right where the NPC is standing. Let's say I want him to go to this corner. Now, as you can see, sometimes the NPC tends to over or undershoot you. In this case, I want him to be completely in the center of this intersection. So what I can do is stand where I want them to be and do /path here. That should move the NPC directly on top of you. And then you can use /path kf as normal, and it'll set a recall point where it's standing. Let's say we're almost done with our path. We want them to be all the way over here by these cones. You can see sometimes the NPC will glitch out trying to follow you. But if, again, you do /path here, it should cancel all its movement. And then we can do another KF. Brilliant. Okay. Now, after your path is complete, the NPC will always go from the last point to the first point. So you don't have to go all the way over here and do another KF. He'll automatically walk back to start. Now, if we're happy with this path, we can go ahead and do /path test. And as you can see, our NPC is walking from keyframe to keyframe from his spawn location. Let's just make sure he does the entire thing in one run. Now, if you move again, the test is going to cancel, and you'll see the NPC start to follow you again. So don't move while you're watching the path. If for some reason you feel like you need to move, you can finalize the path first and then redo it later if it's wrong. But we'll talk about that a little later. For now, you can just do path test again, and the test will start once again. Now, I think this NPC in particular is going a little slow for this demonstration. So what you can do is do /path test and then a speed. Now, default NPC speed is like 300. But what you can do is pick an arbitrary speed. Let's say I want him to walk as fast as a player. I can do 600. And you'll see during the test, the NPC will move at that speed, at player speed. We can go ahead and watch it go. It should hit the keyframe right before the cones and turn around and go back to start. And there we have it. Now, if you're happy with your path, that's good. But let's say I don't want that last point there. I can do /path undo, and it will get rid of that last keyframe. And now we're free to put another one down. So let's say I want to put one here. There we go. And now I can go ahead and do path test 600 again. And the NPC should acknowledge that keyframe is there. Now you can undo as many times as you want until you get back to the first point, at which point you'll have to just cancel the path, which you shouldn't have to do, but it's possible. And now you can see there are NPCs following all the points. Look at that. It's just going to cycle forever and ever. Now, I think this is a little too fast, so we can test at a different speed. Let's do 450. And yeah, that looks about nice. So, when you're done, and only when you're done, you can do /path end. And then again, you want this to be the speed at which they move. Default is 300, but I like 450. So I'm going to do path end 450. And you see the recall markers disappear, and our NPC will follow that path now. Once you do path end, the path will be saved to your gruntwork file, which if we take a peek in the server browser, it's in tdata, gruntwork.json. This is the file you want to submit to Punch-In when you're done. And that'll have all the paths you've completed by /path end, and we'll be able to put those in the game. And now that the path is finalized, you can move around and just see the NPC do its thing. So there you have it. Go around, find some cars, find some ghost ducks, do whatever you want to do. Again, we're doing paths by area, so you could go ahead and just open the map up. Oops. Open the map up, pick a map square, check Punch-In to make sure no one's taken it already, or the project board on GitHub if there is one, and just path as many NPCs as you can. You can use, OG game videos are preferred for referencing, but if you can't find a path for an NPC for your life, you can use retro as a fallback. You can find a retro video that does that path. So that should be everything. Again, if for some reason you're unhappy with this path, you can go ahead and edit the grunt work. And right now it's unformatted, but if you use a JSON formatter, you can find the path. This entire thing is the path for this K&D agent that we just pathed. And you can just delete it and restart the server and then try again if you really need to. But, you know, with the test command, you should be able to decide whether or not you like the path, so you don't have to deal with any text editing or anything like that. So, yeah, that's that. If you have any questions, you can always ask in front desk, and happy pathing.